Welcome to CreatorZAnon. My name is James, and you can find me on Twitter at CreatorZAnon. And before we get into our show and to our guest, please check out this preview.
Hello, our little future foundling-laws. I'm Emily, also known as Snow, and I'm the GM for the Gate Chronicles.
And I'm Quentin, the GM for the Odd campaign. Collectively, we are the co-founders of Missing Role Player Found, or MERP for short.
We are an RPG actual play podcast.
Do you like character voices?
Do you like drama?
Are you titillated by action and adventure?
Mystery and intrigue.
Are you here for the puns and quips and funny tricks?
Are you my mom?
If so, head on over to our website, missingroleplayerfound.com. That's missingroleplayerfound.com.
And prepare to embark on misadventures of epic proportions in the Gate Chronicles. Dip your toes into a mystery where 5 strangers wake up in a desolate underground facility. Their last memories, a sleep study, and a promise of a better tomorrow. Venturing to the surface, they find themselves in a strange, verdant world. They must focus on surviving in this hostile and unfamiliar landscape, and will soon learn that everything begins and ends with the forest.
Whoa. Maybe let's try something a little less dark and ominous, and maybe you would like to listen to something a little bit more lighthearted. And let's be honest, who doesn't love an isekai reality of life and death, where everyone's trapped inside a video game? Follow alongside the Odd campaign as they traverse through numerous floors with laughs and adventures, with highs and lows as they struggle to grasp at this new reality with swords and magic. Nevertheless, we have genres and settings for all intrigues at Missing Role Player Found, and if you don't believe me, just check out this sneak peek to see what's in store. What year is it?
Asking a fortune teller this.
Horses do not, fun fact, like being upside down.
He can do it. I think he can do it.
This whole time, I thought just using my hand was the way to go, but apparently they had toilet paper.
Give me the ugly.
Wait, what if it's for a different person?
It's not for a different.
It could be. It's spelled a different way.
I don't know any other Clyde.
Ooh, who's Clyde?
Who's Clyde?
You are Clyde.
Prince Clyde. And you landed softly on a nice pile of clothes.
Wait, do I land on my back or do I land on my foot?
On your back.
Oh, okay, so I'm going to roll over.
Yeah.
Okay. Showing off the quiver that's on my back.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, there's a store in town that sells the best weaponry ever if you're looking to get some.
I see. So you mean the New Year's Eve hallowed sacred poem?
Quite a lengthy name you have for it, though.
Thank you for checking out that preview. And our guest today is, probably seen him on TikTok, and you've probably seen him in other places, but he is the OK Chef, Nathan Jones. How are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you doing tonight? Or today, or this afternoon, or whatever the heck it is?
Yeah, different time zones. It's 3 o'clock here. It's pretty good. It's been a good day so far. So I reached out to talk to you because you have some of the funnest videos on TikTok I've seen. You've done everything from cooking videos to Jojo poses. So
yeah, I do a lot of whatever my ADD rattled. Like, my content is essentially just me living my life on the internet. It's almost like a vlog or just blog or just random shit that I'm doing. And for some reason, a lot of people are following me just because they're like, want to see what the hell I'm up to. I started off the channel doing lightsaber modifications and like Nerf gun upgrades.
I haven't seen those ones.
You have to
came
go
in
way back. Like, you'd have to go back to be my first uploads are a tutorial series on how to like using just a Dremel and like a can of spray paint, like modify like like an Ultra Saber's lightsaber to look like battle worn and used.
Nice.
Yeah, I have a very nerd interest. As you've seen on the channel, I cover like Dungeons and Dragons. I have a EDH deck out in front of me currently, and because I play Magic, a lot of Magic, and I also collect lightsabers. So,
and yeah, you go through a lot. What made me start following you on TikTok was you had this crazy contraption to smoke foods, like a cold smoke.
Oh yeah, that thing's awesome. It's at work right now. I'm gonna bring that home and start doing some more stuff with it. I really want to cold smoke some ice cream.
I really want you to cold smoke some mayo so we can get some cold smoked tuna melts.
Oh yeah, well I'd actually cold smoke the tuna instead of the mayo. It'd be easier to the smoke would cling more to the tuna meat than it would any kind of mayo. Or like depends maybe if you used a smoked salt, but like it's just I don't thinking about it.
Yeah, if you could find a way to clean that smoke flavor into mayo, I think it would upgrade sandwiches to a whole new level.
Well, that's what I did, and I smoked a lot of butter. It made everything just taste so much fucking better. Like I made a shitty like Wonder Bread and cold roast chicken sandwich that ended up tasting like it was like smoked turkey, and I was like, haha, this is cheating.
I don't know why everybody clings to turkey for when it comes to like smoked poultry. I love smoking chicken. Like
yeah, smoking chicken. Like I have a big drum smoker out back, as if you ever seen in any of my videos. Like I have a proper like wood fire burning, no gas, nothing. It's the real deal. And like during the summer or whatnot, I'll on my way home from work, I'll just pick up a chicken from like the butcher shop and just like throw it on the smoker out back, like build a fire, throw it on the like rub it down, throw it on the smoker out back, stuff it full of some stuff, whatever. Like just because I'm smoking a chicken doesn't mean I'm doing it like any one particular style. Like I've stuffed the cavity full of ginger, shallots, and lemongrass, and then smoked it and glazed it with like a fish sauce. But like I'll just sit out back for like 2-3 hours and just smoke a chicken.
So outside of chicken, I'm also really weird. Like my other favorite type of poultry is duck.
Oh,
but
duck is my favorite meat.
Like altogether,
hands down. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Like my favorite protein. If I eat, like people like joke about my like my excessive use of duck fat in my cooking stuff. Like I'm like, yeah, use this.
Oh, I don't think you use enough. I don't think you use enough.
Like
no.
I whenever like I like roast chicken, duck breasts, I always end up with a whole bunch of fat left over, which means everything for the next like week is cooked in duck fat. Like just last night, I had some leftover. I had some duck fat left over, and I roasted some Brussels sprouts in it, and that was fucking delicious.
Nice. See, I just can't. You can't go wrong with leftover duck fat and any type of herb butter mixed together. You can't. Yeah. You can't go wrong.
I also like this is the perfect season for like fat sage and hearty greens.
Yep.
Like there's some, like as soon as it starts hitting like -5, I don't want to eat anything else except for like beet greens.
Yeah. Hold on one sec. I gotta talk to my other daughter. You can't talk like. Looking. You have to be quiet. Go to my here. Just go to my room. No, go to my room.
Okay, this is long. Down my phone.
Go to my room.
Why?
Because you're being loud and I'm picking you up on everything. Go on. All right, sorry about that.
Okay. Parenting's a full-time job.
Yeah, and I'm in a full house. I just moved to Idaho to take care of my grandma with my 3 kids. So yeah, it's a full-time job.
Yeah, there's a list of reasons why I don't have children, nor do I plan on having them. Might be great.
Children is not for everyone. It is definitely not for everyone.
I will be someone's amazing uncle, but that's about it. I will get that parental feeling out whenever I need to look after the kids for a little bit. I will spoil the shit out of them, and then I will give them back.
My dad's favorite thing about being a grandparent is he says I get to load them up with candy and send them home.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what the fuck I'm gonna do. Like my buddy has a kid, and like even he's like, I can't wait till she gets a certain age because like there's gonna be some things that I can't do. My friend lived a very like standard sheltered life. He's like, there's gonna be things that like my daughter's gonna need to know that like I'm not gonna be able to tell her. So she's gonna go spend some time with crazy Uncle Nathan, and you're gonna tell some stories, scare her straight, or at least responsible.
Okay. So back to duck fat.
Yeah.
So what is the most obscure thing you've ever cooked or eaten? And for an example, while I was in the Middle East, I thought I was eating a Cornish hen stuffed with raw spices that was boiled and then roasted.
Mm.
And when they brought it out to you, you had this amazing little Cornish hen, some like really spiced rice. They brought you the broth that they boiled the Cornish hen in, and naan bread. And then you would take the corn, you'd peel like the Cornish hen, you'd fill the naan bread over the rice, and you'd dip it in the glass, and you'd eat it, and then you drink the broth.
That sounds delicious.
Not only was I lied to, because I didn't know until the very, very end that I wasn't actually eating Cornish hen. I was eating pigeon.
Oh, pigeon's delicious.
I had never had pigeon before, and it was absolutely delicious. And in fact, the only country that doesn't eat pigeon is America.
Yeah, in the rest of the world, the rest of the world, in France and whatnot, if you want to charge $18 a plate, you just call it squab.
Yep.
And pigeon is there's a Middle Eastern pigeon pie that I can't remember the name of right now that is absolutely delicious.
Yeah. So what is the most obscure thing you think you've eaten and actually was surprised to love?
Fuck, I don't know. That's a hard question because I eat a lot of stuff, and then but I spend so much time in the food sphere. Some things that I might say is like really obscure. Like other people are like, I have that every Sunday, especially when you're on the internet and you say something like that. Oh, it's fun. But like I can't remember the name of that not pheasant. Like I'm very familiar with not very familiar. I'm familiar with Iranian food, Vietnamese, mainland Chinese food. So they're I don't know if there's anything really that I'd say that's super obscure. Right now, I'm cooking a lot of Vietnamese food, but that's because that's what I do for a living. I work at a Vietnamese restaurant.
Oh,
okay. Most obscure thing, I would say a lot of the something like pho bo ko or something that I was learning how to make, which is a Vietnamese beef stew that is absolutely delicious.
I've had it before. I'm originally from Washington Northwest, and the Asian influence in the Northwest is huge. So I've actually gotten to eat a lot of Vietnamese, Taiwanese, Japanese, Chinese. They've fully integrated over there, and I love it. There's so many.
I'm from Toronto, and the second largest population of almost any country is here.
Yeah.
Second largest outside of their own country is usually in Toronto.
Yeah.
We have a little X, Y, and Z for literally everything, and I fucking love it. Where I work is in Little Portugal. Where I work and live is in Little Portugal. So I have access to a lot of Portuguese food. But on my way to work, just past it is nestled in Little Ethiopia, a strip of Little Ethiopia inside Little Portugal. But then 3 blocks over is the start of Little Korea.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I love Korean food.
That's just in a 5-6 block radius of where I live. Probably about within half an hour walk, you could go and hit if people haven't eaten a lot of Ethiopian food, I highly recommend hitting that up because it's one of my favorite dining experiences that I had in my entire life. And I like eating with my hands. And I also like very spiced food.
Me too.
Ethiopian isn't very spicy, but it is spiced.
Wait, hold up. We're both white. We don't know anything outside of spice other than salt. What are you talking about? I'm just kidding. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
That's where I grew up. I was actually the minority, and that's I like it that way. But yeah, I actually grew up in a part of Toronto that was very, 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 very brown, but mixed brown. So we had everybody from the West Indies to South Asia to just literally everybody. A lot of Caribbean families, a lot of African families, just a lot of brown and black, and then there was like old Italian and like new white. And like depending on what part of the area you were in, like in the more affluent areas, it was old Italian people, or like older generational Italian families. And then in the new constructions were like the new Caucasian, new white money, and like that was all on the strip that they were gentrifying. And then as soon as you literally crossed the tracks and got into Weston proper, that's when everything changed. Everything was brown.
Nice.
And the food would reflected that. And I grew up eating a lot of things that people had just not been had access to.
I can totally relate to you on that. Only I didn't grow up in, well, I grew up in Tacoma, Washington, where a variety of people, like there's so many different people. But when my mom and dad were going through their divorce, I had to go live with my grandmother on my dad's side, and then I went to live with my aunt for a little while, and my aunt's job was an archaeologist.
Okay,
so
cool.
She never was in one area at any given time. For 1 year, I spent a year in the Middle East, just at different sites in the Middle East, all over the Middle East. And then she decided to switch her focus after that year. So we spent the whole next year jumping around Asia.
Nice.
So I got to experience a lot of different culture.
Yeah, you got to go there. You got to go there. There came to me.
Yeah. So I got to eat in a very rural village. I guess the best way I could describe it is deep fried tarantula.
Yeah.
Big hairy spiders that were still alive, walking around in flour batter, dropped into a giant wok of oil.
Yeah, I can't say with my absolute terror of spiders, you wouldn't catch me eating that, but I will fucking take a picture and go hungry. I'm fine. I would literally fucking scream.
Yeah, it was very, very nerve-wracking because
there are things that I do and there are things that I don't do, and there are things that trigger my fight or flight reflex, and by God, is it tuned.
Yeah, don't go to Vietnam.
I'm supposed to end up going to Vietnam, but where we're hitting up is probably going to be pretty different.
Yeah, we were very, very in a very, very rural area, deep in the jungle, and the only reason we had to leave was because my aunt got malaria.
Yeah, that sounds like that sounds fun.
Yeah, so that was another 3 months in a hospital. So after she recovered from malaria, she went straight back, and we went back to that village, and she went back to exploring the jungle, and she found what she was looking for. So
nice.
Yeah, it was a big adventure. Being a chef, every chef has one, outside of their favorite knife or favorite knife set, they have one thing in the kitchen that they absolutely love using, be a sous vide, induction ovens, or flash freezers. Your smoker is your absolute favorite device?
My smoker, yeah, that's the cold smoker that I have is my little toy that I get to play around with and make things like smoky that aren't necessarily smoky. But my big boy out back, that's where I take things to go to work for real.
So have you ever, since you're big on cultures and everything, have you ever thought about turning a smoker or anything like that into a tandoori oven?
The shape that I have is not correct.
Okay.
But I do actually want to eventually have a place where I can build a clay oven. That would be nice.
Yeah, I absolutely love using a tandoori clay oven. Not for just making things like tandoori chicken, but they also dub well as smokers, and I absolutely love making naan bread on the side of them. Yeah,
I grew up eating Indian food, so I can feel naan is one of the.
It's one of those things that is so easy to make, but it's so easy to screw up.
Yeah.
Okay, your EDH deck is distracting me because I play Magic too. So what EDH deck are you fiddling with?
Yeah, I shuffle as I think.
No,
Currently playing.
I mean, it's fine. You don't have to set it down. I'm just gonna ask you about it.
Currently playing Brawl, and so it doesn't do very well on TikTok.
Okay.
So I don't talk about Magic a lot on TikTok. Like the views are pretty bad, and like my very first TikTok account was an MTG account, and I struggled so hard to get like 100 follows, like so hard. And then I did one D&D video, and I got like 1,000 followers, 2,000 followers. So I was like, okay, so that's the direction I'm going. Kind of made that decision for me. But yeah, what I'm playing right now is Brawl and Shabrazz, just wheels, just so many fucking wheels. Like the whole, it's my casual list because I usually play like degenerate, like competitive CDH, and that's like what I mostly deal with. But like a lot of my Twitter followers are into more casual EDH, so I built a less, well, not like a less powerful, a not competitive deck that was focused mostly on making Shabrazz. Do you know the combination?
No.
Okay, so they're new out of Ikoria. It's a dude and a flying shark.
Okay.
Like literally the creature type on Shabrazz is bird shark.
They are getting creative with their creature types.
Well, Ikoria was a great set because like one of the themes of the set was that like the creatures on Ikoria mutate and grow.
Yep.
So like they evolve rapidly. So like if they like I need a pair of claws, boom, they grow a pair of claws. So Shabrazz, the sky shark.
Shark. I know that card. I do know that card.
So the whole idea of this deck is it's pretty goofy and it's meant to be played on streams. So it's like a lot of my, like, again, I got like a lot of MTG friends on Twitter. Nice. So it's meant to play with them. So it's supposed to draw a lot of cards and make Shabrazz absolutely huge and like one-shot people with a flying shark.
Oof.
Today I got him up to like a 67-67.
So you would really like my Norn the Wary deck.
Oh God, Norn.
Yeah, I'm running him with Soul Sisters, a Johnny's Pridemate, Captain of the Watch, and I threw in a few other cards that you're just like, why? And my favorite thing about it is I have I can't remember the name of the card, but the whole card is just the legendary rule doesn't exist. So I can have
Mirror
4
Gallery.
Norn. Yes, thank you. I have 4 Norns flying in and out. So yeah, in a few turns my Johnny's Pridemates are over 100. It gets pretty fun. It's gotten to the point that I'm not allowed to play that deck. None of my friends will let me play that deck.
That's why I have the meta that I play, and also in this deck I get to run all my fancy rocks.
Yes, those are some really fancy ones. I'm more than a little jealous. That's a lot of money you just held up to the camera. Those 4 cards alone are probably about $1,300, $1,400. Yeah, that's dreaming for me.
I have a system where I only buy 1 card and then of any type, and then I just take apart the deck and build a new one.
Yep.
So like I only have 1 of every card that I need. So I can afford to have the 1 soul ring that I need. I ended up snagging that for like $300.
Oh my God. The only soul ring I have, I was lucky that I pulled it out of a booster.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, like I have a whole binder that's probably upwards of like probably $100,000 in it.
Nice. Yeah, and my collection is not quite there, but it's enough that I can play whatever deck that I want to play. And so it looks real good.
Out of all of the commanders in Magic the Gathering, what one is your favorite that you just don't get to play with enough?
luckily I get to play with them a lot, I get to play with them a lot more because like I run a Discord.
Okay.
And we play webcam games like the
Nice.
like the phone that I'm using right now. So my favorite deck to play is Najila. And she's a bitch.
I gotta look her up really quick. It sounds.
I can, don't worry, off the top of my head. Najila, 2 in a red, 3/2. Whenever she's a human warrior, whenever a warrior attacks, put a 1/1 warrior creature token into the field, tapped and attacking.
Yeah.
And then she has Wooburg for 5 mana activated ability, create an extra combat step. All attacking creatures gain lifelink and trample.
And haste.
And haste, yeah.
Yeah, that's because she's your commander. You can run a 5-color deck.
Yep.
That is harsh.
And she's a 1-card combo with Derevi, Nature's Will, and Druid's Repository. Because with Derevi, whenever you deal combat damage to a player, whenever a creature deals combat damage to a player, you can untap a permanent. So you just stack all the triggers onto like one land that produces like any color.
Yep.
So as long as you have 5 creatures making combat damage, you can go off, and you just make infinite combat steps.
If you freaking pair her with primal vigor and doubling seasons, you're just flooding the field.
You don't even. Yeah, that's, to be honest, like that's like you can just go. You wouldn't need doubling season or primal vigor because you could just play Derevi and win.
Yeah, that's.
Or play Druid's Repository and win, or Sword of Feast and Famine and win, or Nature's Will and win.
Yeah, the one commander that I love to use her, but every time I get her onto the field, she's removed almost immediately, and that's Kalia of the Vast.
Yeah, no, she's kill on sight.
Yeah, and I hate that she's.
Yeah, you can't let Kalia swing. You let Kalia swing once just so someone said that they could do their thing, and then you blow that bitch up.
Well, yeah, there's no point in playing Kalia because she's just a pretty card, but at this point, if you throw her out, they're just like, zoom, done.
Yeah, I know. You gotta honestly, I'll let you attack once, but after that, I'm bouncing her to your fucking hand every fucking turn.
And people are smart because they get around everything. I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna throw on Indestructible, and I'm gonna throw on Lightning Greaves to make her hex proof. And what? Now you can't do nothing, and then somebody finds a way around it.
So okay, sacrifice a creature. Fuck.
Damn it. Yeah. But I always find a way to give her haste too, so I can attack the turn I bring her out, and
yeah,
I usually end up dropping my whole hand when I do. So
that's why you got to kill that bitch.
That's everyone's sentiment, and I'm like, stop being mean to Kalia. But the person
it's
I ship her with,
it's not Kalia that's the problem. It's the Razaketh that comes next, or the Avacyn that comes next, or some fucking some giant dragon that comes next,
or my demons.
Yeah, a fucking Ruin Scar demon that's a 6/6 flying with trample that tutors a card.
Yep. So that's always fun. But the only other person that, and I totally ship Kalia with him, is Vishkal.
Yeah, Vishkal.
Everybody hates Vishkal.
I haven't played against one of those in a while, but then again, I usually play decks that make my hand this size.
Yeah.
That's how my game, I literally just still have it here from earlier this afternoon. That was the size of my hand.
Ow.
Chess guy wheel decks.
Yeah. Speaking how they eliminate your hand size, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, it's I had some wheels going, and I was discarded 15 cards, drew 30.
Ooh. You remember when Mana Burn was a thing?
Yes, I do. I played Magic for a bit in 1993 and 1994. I was 8 or 9. No, I was 9 or 10. But I played for a little bit. But I was still too young to understand, and there wasn't enough people to teach you, and it was just pretty cards that I had.
Yep.
I played with one other person, and then he stopped playing when I started beating him all the time. He just stopped playing, and then I had nobody to play with, so I stopped playing.
I was that kid that my brother got me into the game in 94, 95, and I started beating him. So I went down to my local card shop and I would sit there shuffling my deck until somebody was like, "You want to play a game?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I did that so many times that the guys at the card shop would start pointing hot shots to me, like, "Hey, you should go play that guy." And then I'd play him, and they'd be like, yeah, I'm not doing that again." And I got to the point where I'd come in, and they're like, "You can't sit here all day. We're losing customers." I'm like, "Ah." So, yeah. Then I got out of it, and I recently got back into it around 2010, 2015.
I got back into it basically 2 years ago with Rivals of Ixalan.
Nice. I came back with Theros because I was like, ooh, Greek gods.
Yeah, we just had Theros too. That was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
so
they
that gave me Thassa's Oracle. Ugh.
They brought back my favorite planeswalker, Elsbeth.
Mm-hmm.
They raised her from the dead.
Yeah, that video was really cool. That video was really cool.
I had another question for you, and my notebook is gone.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, so you were for a while there. You were going through some things. Everybody's going through some things because of the pandemic, and everybody's been facing a little bit of depression and back and forth. And then you came back to TikTok with a whole bunch of Jojo poses. So, what inspired the Jojo pose phase?
Oh, that was because that was off a conversation I had on Twitter where I was watching a bit of JoJo's. I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of I like the culture more than I like the anime. There's too much abuse of dogs for my particular taste. But it all came from a conversation on Twitter where I was like saying that like a lot of my my Twitter followers and Twitter friends were just like love this show, and I'm like, you guys have no excuses for taking bad selfies. Like, if you watch this show, you have no fucking excuse. Like, I don't want to see any more, like, I don't want to see any more of this. I don't want to
Yeah.
I don't want to see any more of that. Like, guys were like, what do you mean? I'm like, this is all these things. It's all fashion model poses. When you're like, if you want to know how to look good in a fucking photo, just do that shit. Like guys, come on, watch JoJo. You all watch JoJo. It's just like, so I did those videos on TikTok and then like uploaded them to Twitter being like, guys, just do this. See what I mean? And like, yeah, it was just basically like trying to help guys learn how to sell themselves better.
Yeah, nobody likes the random D pic, so send them a JoJo pose instead.
I was joking about that. Like, there's a difference between sending like the types of pictures you send, like especially when so much courting is done on internet. Like, there's also the difference between sending a good D pic and sending a bad D pic. And I also had a conversation with people on how to send those ones because like angles are everything, my friend, and nobody likes the direct down angle.
No. Oh, sorry. I remember your first video when you were like, I think I nailed this pose perfectly, and I was dying. That dude actually nailed it.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I'm like, oh, what up? Yeah, that did make me laugh. Like, I don't take my TikTok too seriously, and like, I just like having fun doing things. But it just, like, I know I'm supposed to get back on making some D&D content, but I'm just trying to find the inspiration. Usually my regular go-to of Rip Bong rant into camera hasn't really yielded me any good videos this time, so I need to figure out how to make a good one.
So, what's your favorite D&D character to play?
Monk.
That was quick. Okay, elaborate.
It's my favorite class. I love everything about them. I love the so many different ways that you can flavor them. Like, I don't usually play my monks to be like Shaolin or Eastern style monks. I like take the skill set and I flavor them to be different ways and different things that I like. But there's just so many different types of monk. Like the ancestral self, the one that was just released. I cannot wait to play that. That looks so fucking cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and like I love the suite of abilities that they have. Like they get something like at every fucking level. That you can do a lot with them inside and outside of combat. They're just so versatile. Like my one of my DM, or the DM that I usually have, like, she has like laughed a few times because, like, to some people, like, in the wrong hand, like, to some people the monk could be like one of the worst characters ever, because if you're trying to play them like a tank, or if you're trying to play them wrong, you're just gonna get your ass slapped around. But in like the hands of like someone who only plays, or like predominantly plays monks like myself, they like I just ruin my DM's night sometimes. And she's just
nice.
like, I can't hit you, I can't nail you down, I can't get at you, and like, you just stay still. And I'm like, absolutely fucking not.
So
that made multi-class so well. Like, you throw in like a couple levels of rogue or like some, and they're amazing. Or if you want to get really fucking cool, they also stack well with clerics. So you could give like your monk full, like, you could give your monk a couple levels of like spell casting and like and like have the turn on deads and all those ability. You can like season monks so well with like other classes.
Nice. I was actually thinking of taking my fighter and giving him a monk subclass, but I was just like, I don't know if that just turns him into a roaring tank. I'm not that experienced with monks. And I dedicated to my team that I would be the sword and board guy.
Yeah. Monks don't do sword and board. They don't tank very well. They're strikers. If you want to tank, there's different class fighter. Barbarians are fucking tanks.
Yes. So I want to pitch something at you, and I want you to tell me what type of monk you would play in this. All right. So imagine a world a lot like Cyberpunk 2077, except all the technology and everything is ran on magical energy. So
I know how to play.
So that, hold on, I'm not done yet. So,
okay.
But a cataclysm happens. All the magic leaves the world. So now you have all this empty technology that won't work.
Okay.
So what does the world do? They revert back a little bit and start relying on steam technology. So now you're post-apocalyptic steampunk.
Depends on like what on the settings. Like if there's other things going around, like if there was like kind of like a plague going on in the city or whatnot, I would really probably lean into the new the Way of Mercy monk. Or to be honest, like I think a Way of Shadows monk would be really cool in that, like using a lot of the steam to be able to like to disappear and reappear in different spots and use like just kind of like pop in and out of the steam, because there's always going to be steam around, like, or if steam pens, like you could always just slash a pipe, like, or bash a pipe, break it open, fill steam through the room and just like go fucking crazy and like Corvo, Atano, everybody like just go nuts.
Nice. Yeah, we're starting up a D&D podcast soon where it's post-apocalyptic cyberpunk into kind of leaning into steampunk, but the thing that nobody can figure out is where magic went and how. When like the sorcerers of the world discovered that magic was leaving, they decided to safeguard some of their abilities, and they teamed up with a blacksmithing firm to create these like flash drives that store, each one of them stores one spell's worth of energy, and they made millions of them. They even made cantrips, one where a cantrip uses so little magical energy that one drive would last for 10 or 12 spells. But your magic is very, very limited, and nobody knows why. But now that after this whole cataclysm happened and you're basically rebuilding, all of a sudden these cataclysms are opening and there's just these tunnels that are appearing all around the world and monsters are flooding out of them. So a whole bunch of adventurers got together and built guilds over these fissures, and now they discovered that there's different levels to them. Nobody's been to the bottom, because the farther you go down, the more powerful the creatures get.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole point of this game is to figure out what's at the bottom.
Sounds like fun.
So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. So, and we will be looking for guests. So we might reach out to you to bring your monk to play.
Nice. I will look for any excuse to play a monk. For the campaign that I'm probably I'm trying to start a campaign that with my friends that we might possibly be streaming. at some point. I don't know. We're still trying to figure it out because most of us aren't really good with technology. One of us is. One of the group is. But I'm going to be playing the Way of the Astral Self monk. And their base, we're playing it in a Magic the Gathering setting.
Nice.
So do you remember the Dragons of Tarkir cons block? So we're going to be playing in that block.
Nice.
So I'm playing an Abzan cleric monk of the astral self.
Okay, this is gonna be fun because if I imagine that to be in a card, it's gonna be a 1/1 with a devastating ability.
I built myself in a card, but the character is kind of like a sandbender.
Nice.
Except, the Abzan, the race that they are from, commune with the spirit, their ancestors, and their ancestors rise from the desert sands, so they kind of have these sand spirit guardians.
So kind of like a sand golem.
Not necessarily a golem, more like a wraith, more exactly like a ghost.
Oh.
Not like a solid thing, more like ghosts of their literally spirits made of sand.
Oh, that's both awesome and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah, so I'm flavoring all their abilities, their spells, to be different ways of their spiritual weapon is literally just going to be one of these sand spirits raises from the ground. But the Way of the Astral Self gives you the astral body ability, so you get the astral arms and astral head, these really cool effects. So they're the first thing you get is the arms of the astral self. So they're literally just going to have giant ghostly arms of sand that they can summon.
Nice. So I'm sorry, this just popped in my head, but this kind of reminds me of a comic book that I discovered it and I started reading, and the next thing I know, I had read 118 issues of it.
Goes like that.
And yeah, it was so freaking good I couldn't put it down. Have you ever heard of a Korean manhwa called Solo Leveling?
No, not that. I can't say that I have.
I'm sorry, but I strongly suggest you look it up, and then
what's it called?
It's called Solo Leveling.
Solo, okay.
It is super addicting, and the art is absolutely amazing. Every issue is in full color. The main character has a very amazing build throughout the series, and it's just it was one of those I couldn't put down, but there's one aspect of them that's very reminiscent of your character that you're describing, and I think you would really enjoy it.
Yeah, I've also been told by my friend, because I haven't seen Naruto, and he's just I need you to Google who Gaara is, and I'm like, okay. I look up who Gaara is, and I'm like, yes, like that.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see Gaara be. Oh my God, Gaara is just a glorified sand monk.
No. Gaara's a Way of the Self Astral monk.
True. Yeah.
Except that summoning is that beast, that sand beast.
Yep.
Yeah. That's definitely to him going. Or then it was I haven't seen Naruto, but I saw one statue of him being guarded by his mother.
Yep.
I'm that looks like a Way of the Astral Self monk to me.
Yeah, Gaara is so in Naruto there are 9 beasts. Or sorry.
Yeah, and I know the nine tails Kurama is one of them. I don't know shit about I don't know shit about Naruto. I've never seen it, but I am on Weeb TikTok, so I know more than I should know, considering I've never seen the show.
I definitely strongly suggest watching the show.
Yeah.
It's super. I watched it from the day it released to the day it finished, and I'm still watching Boruto. I haven't watched it in a while because moving and everything else, and it's kind of went off to the wayside. But I'm a hardcore fan. I love it. It's definitely there. And Naruto, the problem with Naruto is they have a very toxic community, and I guess that goes for all of anime. Everybody has their toxic sides.
To be honest, being in the nerd sphere as long as I have, just the whole, it's just the entire, either just everybody's always toxic, or just the nerd sphere, every part of it is just has got its yeah.
there's bad apples in everything, and everybody thinks they're right. And I'm not saying that to make anybody feel bad. I'm just saying that you're not always right.
Yeah, it's also an anime. It really doesn't matter.
Yes. But definitely, I strongly suggest checking it out. Yeah, I'm super excited to start D&D and everything. And the other thing I discovered on TikTok was Rob and Peggy, and they're making Kydro, and I can't wait for that. Like, I just got the notification that the Kydro comic dropped, and I'm so excited to read it. So, have you seen any of the Gadgetbot stuff?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Oh, okay. They're on TikTok. Their designs are absolutely amazing. You'd love them.
TikTok is huge.
There's
so much on TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah, back to TikTok. TikTok is getting kind of crazy. I don't know. TikTok is. I see so much stuff on it. My new favorite thing is Gordon Ramsay replying to random chefs and calling them a donut.
Oh yeah.
So is that a goal of yours, to get Gordon Ramsay to comment on your food?
I thought it would be good for like trying to get good, like be good for advertising or whatnot, but like I had one video and like about like 300 people fucking added them, but like I never got.
Yeah, I noticed that he doesn't
He also
really
doesn't like reply to good videos.
No, he doesn't. Like I've never seen him give a good review.
It's also less entertaining. It's less entertaining. Everybody wants to see Gordon Ramsay call somebody a fucking donut or call somebody an idiot sandwich. That's what people signed up for. That's what people want. They don't want to see Gordon Ramsay going, "This looks good." They want to see Gordon Ramsay go, "This person's a fucking idiot." That's what people want. So like I don't necessarily blame anybody for that. That's just how you gotta play the game.
Yeah, honestly, I really, the only reason I really watch his videos is because I want him to do exactly that. I want him to give somebody that thumbs up. I want him to give that badge of approval. Because throughout all of his shows, when he did give the badge of approval, that was their highest rated episode. So
yeah, well, they hold off for that. So like, yeah, it'd be nice. There's some, but like the views that have been on my cooking videos for some reason like are just terrible. So I've been focusing out of that recently, and plus those ones cost money.
Yeah, well,
making D&D characters and turning people into D&D characters, which is like the thing that gets me some of the most views, is free.
Yeah.
The only thing that requires is the weed that inspires it. But the cooking videos, that requires actual real money and real time.
Yeah.
And like,
I'm always a fan of your cooking videos. I'm always a fan of your cooking videos. So I'm always excited to see what you're gonna do next, and I'm always wondering, like, when I follow chefs on TikTok or anything like that, they just inspire my own cooking. So, and I never try to duplicate exactly what you're doing. I always get inspired, like, you know what, that sounds really good, but what is the broke version of it?
Like, yeah, when I was throwing around about like $50 worth of foie gras at any given point in time, that's a little. What's the broke version of that?
Yeah, and I was just like, chicken livers.
Yep.
That's the broke version.
That's the broke version.
I was like, I can go down to the store and get a whole pack of chicken livers for $10.
Yeah, it's like that was also the video that I did when it was just like I went to my butcher shop and they had like pate and it was just like $15 a pound or $16 a pound. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? Like, chicken livers are like $5 a pound. Or $5 a kilo. You can make this shit no problem.
Oh yeah, all you need is a freaking blender.
Yep.
But that brings me around. Being a cook, you spend a lot of time in the kitchen. You're constantly thinking about new recipe ideas and everything. What's your go-to broke meal?
How broke are we talking?
You got paid today, but you paid all your bills, and now you have no money, and you have to go 2 weeks.
One of my favorites is oyakodon.
How broke is that?
The most expensive thing is a chicken thigh.
Nice.
So it's a Japanese dish where so it's sliced onions in a dashi,
Yep.
With soy, mirin, and soy, mirin, and sugar and dashi, and then you bring it up to a simmer, and you just kind of like throw chunked chicken thighs in there, and you just kind of like poach them, and then when it's almost done, you throw in like 2 beaten eggs into the broth and just let it like set, and then just pour that over rice, and like you're good to go.
See, I've had it over noodles.
That should be on rice because soyako don.
Yeah, I've had it over noodles, and I'm more of a noodle than rice fan, which is weird, I know, but
no, different. It depends on the dish for me sometimes.
Yeah, my absolute favorite broke meal to do is when I have leftover spaghetti stuff and whatever cheese is in my fridge, I will grab a tortilla, throw the spaghetti sauce on it, cover it in cheese, and pop that in the oven.
Nice.
That is my absolute go-to broke meal, and it is awesome.
Tortilla pizza.
Every time. So, and you can even roll them up, cut them into like little pinwheels and everything, and throw more cheese over that. You can get fancy with it, and the most you're spending your money on is a tortilla.
Yeah.
So
I also know I've spent a lot of time eating instant ramen, so I definitely know how to jazz up a bowl of instant ramen.
Oh, just a poached egg and jazz up a bowl of instant ramen.
Yeah, well, like I'll make mirin, like I'll make proper ajisuke tamago for my instant ramen.
Okay, can you elaborate what that is? Because that was a big word that I didn't quite understand.
Soy pickled egg.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I honestly, when I first visited Asia, I hated the food, and it's because I was probably 12 years old, and I was like, this is not a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
And now I love Asian food. Like, I cannot get enough of it.
Yeah, I get that feeling.
Well, all right. Thank you for coming onto the show. I'm gonna end it on a good note. Where can people find you if they want to reach out to you?
If you could find me on TikTok at OKChef, or you can find me on Twitter at the Hermit Druid.
The Hermit Druid. I'm gonna go follow you on Twitter. So again, thank you for coming to the show. And if there's anybody else out there that just wants to express their creativity and tell their story, please message me on Twitter at CreatorZAnon. Email us at CreatorZAnon, same as the way the show is spelled, at gmail.com. And definitely reach out to us. And until next time, stay creative.